The drama between Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and now even Taylor Swift has turned into one of the wildest legal battles Hollywood has seen in years, and it's only getting messier. What started as the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel It Ends With Us has spiraled into lawsuits, countersuits, accusations of harassment, smear campaigns, and now even subpoenas that drag in one of the biggest superstars on the planet, Taylor Swift. Yes, you heard that right. Taylor Swift, the biggest pop star in the world who has been spending her year topping charts, dominating stadiums with her record-shattering Eras tour, and announcing her 12th studio album, is now being pulled into this ugly war between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. And according to new court filings, Taylor has agreed to sit for a deposition this fall. That's right, Taylor is going to have to testify under oath, something she clearly never wanted to be part of, and it could completely change the trajectory of this already explosive case. So let's back up for a moment. For those who might not be fully caught up, the roots of this conflict go back to the adaptation of It Ends With Us, the massively popular Colleen Hoover novel. Blake Lively starred in the film, playing the lead, and Justin Baldoni not only acted alongside her, but also directed the movie. On paper, this should have been a huge win for both of them. Two attractive A-listers fronting a beloved book adaptation, produced by Baldoni's Wayfarer Studios, and tied to Hoover's massive fan base. But by the end of production, everything had unraveled. In December 2024, Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios, and others connected to the project, alleging sexual harassment, retaliation, and what she described as a coordinated smear campaign to destroy her reputation after she spoke up. Her claims were explosive, and Baldoni, of course, denied them. But instead of the case quietly playing out, it only got bigger and uglier, with accusations flying back and forth and both sides going after each other with brutal legal tactics. And here's where Taylor Swift comes in. Blake Lively and Taylor have been famously close for nearly a decade. Taylor is even the godmother to Blake and Ryan Reynolds' children, and she's referenced the kids in her music. Their friendship has always been one of those Hollywood relationships that fans adored. Two powerful, successful women who seemed to genuinely support each other. But as the lawsuit heated up, Justin Baldoni's legal team began pulling Taylor's name into the mix. At one point, Baldoni even claimed in a since-dismissed countersuit that Taylor and Ryan Reynolds pressured him into accepting some of Blake's rewrites on the script after he was summoned to the couple's apartment. Baldoni later texted Blake, saying her changes made the scene so much more fun and interesting, but he added that he would have felt that way even without Ryan and Taylor's input. Blake's allegedly responded by jokingly calling herself Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, saying that Ryan and Taylor were her dragons. That's a funny line in a group chat, sure, but once dragged into court filings, it became ammo. Baldoni tried to use it as proof that Taylor and Ryan were interfering with his directing decisions. And if that wasn't already bizarre enough, Baldoni's team subpoenaed Taylor earlier this year, demanding access to her communications with Blake about the movie. Taylor's reps blasted it at the time, pointing out that she had absolutely nothing to do with the film. She wasn't on set, she wasn't involved in casting, scoring, editing, or anything else. She was literally touring the globe when the movie was being made, headlining what's now officially the biggest tour in music history. The subpoena was eventually withdrawn, but it left a mark. According to multiple sources, Taylor was furious that her name was being dragged into a scandal she had nothing to do with. Insiders even claimed that her friendship with Blake started to cool after that, with Taylor allegedly ghosting Blake's attempts to reach out. Fast forward to now, and Taylor Swift has officially agreed to be deposed. According to filings, she can't do it until late October because of her pre-existing obligations. She has an album release coming up, The Life of a Showgirl, dropping October 3rd, and she's still navigating the chaos of her massive career. Baldoni's legal team asked the judge to extend the discovery deadline specifically to fit Taylor's schedule, insisting that they weren't stalling, but simply needed to lock in this high-profile deposition. Lively's side, however, argued that Baldoni's team is dragging things out, pointing to other delays and failures to produce requested documents. Her lawyers pushed for a smaller extension from September 30 to October 10th, while Baldoni's side said the only extension they want is for Taylor Swift between October 20th and 25th. Now, here's where things get even juicier. This entire trial is set for March 2026, but the lead-up is already filled with fireworks. A judge already dismissed Baldoni's massive $400 million countersuit for defamation and extortion earlier this year, saying his claims against Blake, Ryan Reynolds, Blake's publicist, and even the New York Times were legally weak. That was a huge blow to Baldoni, who had accused Lively's team of orchestrating a smear campaign against him. The judge basically said, no, the statements were privileged, and the media had no obvious reason to doubt what they were reporting. That dismissal shifted momentum back to Blake's side, but Baldoni is clearly not giving up without a fight. So what does Taylor's deposition really mean here? On one hand, it could be nothing. Taylor may simply testify that she was friends with Blake, that she had private conversations with her as any friend would, and that she had no involvement in the film. But on the other hand, Baldoni's team is clearly hoping that Taylor will give them something useful, whether that's confirmation that Blake vented about the set, details about rewrites, or anything that can be spun to undermine Lively's case. But here's the thing. Taylor Swift has been through more public drama than almost anyone in Hollywood. She's survived feuds with Kanye West, Scooter Braun, Kim Kardashian, the music industry machine, endless ex-boyfriend gossip, and has come out stronger every time. The idea that she would be rattled in a deposition seems far-fetched. If anything, she'll probably deliver calm, precise answers that make it clear she's not the story here. But will the press take it that way? Absolutely not. The headlines alone, Taylor Swift testifies in a sexual harassment case involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, are going to explode. And Baldoni's team knows that. Even if Taylor doesn't say anything damaging, her very presence in this case ensures that it stays in the spotlight. And let's not ignore the friendship fallout. Reports claim Taylor and Blake aren't even speaking right now. Fans have been speculating for weeks that one of Taylor's new songs, Ruin the Friendship, might be about Blake. Taylor has denied that, saying she wrote the album while touring in Europe before she was dragged into this mess. But still, the speculation is there, and it's not going away. Remember, this is a friendship that dates back to 2014. Blake and Ryan's kids have literally been immortalized in Taylor's music. James, Inez, and Betty were name-checked on Folklore, and James even had a voice cameo in Reputation. This wasn't some surface-level Hollywood friendship. This was real, or at least it seemed that way. For it to now collapse under the weight of legal subpoenas and messy accusations is sad, but also exactly the kind of celebrity fallout that people can't stop talking about. From where I'm standing, it's clear that Baldoni's team is weaponizing Taylor's fame in this case. They know that dragging her in creates a bigger spectacle. They know that people care more about what Taylor Swift says than about pages of boring legal filings. And while it might buy them more attention, I don't think it's going to help them legally. If anything, it risks alienating the public even more because Swifties, the most loyal fan base on the planet, do not take kindly to their idol being dragged into situations against her will. Meanwhile, Blake Lively is still preparing for trial. She's not backing down, and she's even expanded her legal strategy, seeking attorney's fees, treble damages, and punitive damages against Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios. She's arguing that their defamation countersuit against her was baseless retaliation, and she's citing California laws designed to protect people who speak up about harassment from being buried in retaliatory lawsuits. She's also got new witnesses coming forward, with at least one individual filing a sworn declaration alleging that Baldoni mistreated them on a separate project connected to Wayfarer Studios. This person even claimed that Baldoni was kept off-set during most of production due to their negative experiences with him. That's another potential bombshell waiting to go off at trial. So, where does this all end? Honestly, it's hard to say. A settlement is always possible, but both sides seem too invested to walk away quietly. If it does go to trial in March 2026, it will be one of the biggest Hollywood trials in years, with A-list witnesses, ugly accusations, and enough gossip to fuel headlines for months. And the fact that Taylor Swift is now officially part of the witness list makes it even more surreal. At the end of the day, Taylor probably just wants to get this over with and go back to focusing on her music, her engagement to Travis Kelce, and her fans. But no matter what she says in that deposition, people will dissect it endlessly. That's the curse of being Taylor Swift. Everything you do, even unwillingly, becomes a headline. For Blake, this is about justice and reclaiming her career after what she describes as harassment and retaliation. For Baldoni, it's about survival. His reputation, his studio, his projects, all of it is on the line. And for Taylor, it's just about being dragged into a storm she never wanted to be part of. But one thing's for sure, this case is far from over, and the Taylor Swift factor just made it 10 times more dramatic.